worldwide at the Radisson Hotel in Green Bay. This is Locker Room with Local 5 Sports Director Bert Griffin.
Another slow start was too much to overcome against Detroit. And now Green Bay is looking up at the Lions in the NFC North. But the Packers have another primetime date to prove they belong, as the green and gold head to Sin City to face the Raiders. Get ready for another edition of Locker Room. Welcome to another edition of Locker Room right here in the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center at the Cedar and Sage Restaurant. Well, the Packers are coming off a long weekend after losing to the Lions on Thursday Night Football at home, but now they will go on the road and face the Raiders on Monday Night Football as they try to get back above 500. My co-host here to talk about all those festivities, along with Packers kicker Anders Carlson in just a moment. Three-time Super Bowl champion Harry Sidney.
Hello there. How we doing? How we doing?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How quickly, you were a coach in the NFL, you were a player in the NFL. How quickly was that film thrown aside?
You hope it didn't throw it away too quickly.
Okay.
Because 2 games in a row, offensively, they barely scored in the first half.
Right.
Offensively, they didn't know they didn't seem like they know what they were trying to do. Whether they were trying to run the ball, whether they were trying to pass the ball. Aaron Jones, a weapon, barely the ball wasn't touched, so they got to figure some things out.
Well, you mentioned Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, obviously both back in the lineup. We'll talk about what he did in the second half.
Yeah.
But in that first half, they had 3 straight 3-and-outs, threw the ball 9 times, took a couple quarterback sacks, and it was all Lions in the first half.
You know, so much of this year I talked about LaFleur, his opportunity to call the game.
Right.
Well, when you have your offensive linemen get beat up like that, and you got one of the best running backs in the league, you got to give him the ball to settle things down, so at least your offensive linemen are attacking instead of catching.
Instead of catching.
And that was the difference early. Then Detroit got excited. They go, oh, we can go after these guys.
Yeah, these are not your same old Lions in the past. Dan Campbell, we talked about it before. I mean, last year, they have a new identity, and it comes straight from the head coach.
Well, you know, you like a guy like that because he lets you know what's going on. And now you see over the last year what he's been saying, guys are believing him because they're believing they're playing the type of football that us old players will love to play, that hardcore. They're going to be physical. On the goal line, they're going to run the ball. They're going to stop you from running the ball. Yeah,
David Montgomery, solid with the Bears, but look, he rushes the football well. They had over 200 yards on the ground.
Yes.
Green Bay was down 27-3 at halftime and really hadn't done anything. That field goal came after a nice pick to start the game. But you got to give Matt LaFleur and company a little bit of credit, including Jordan Love, because when they finally settled in, put together a couple of nice drives in that second half, and got it to within a 2-score game at 27-17.
And everything you're saying is true, and you want to give them credit, but you also have to say, hey, man, you can't put yourself in this hole.
Yeah.
Because if you put yourself in a hole, you're making Love be what we didn't want him to be this soon, which is a guy that had to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Especially when you got Aaron Jones back there running the ball and ready to run.
Yep. Well, it ended up being too little, too late in a 34-20 loss. And look, this is going to be the way the season is all year long. They're going to have really big ups, and they're going to have some really low downs.
And especially if you look at the series of games, the next 5 or 6 games, they're going against teams with 500 or worse records. So this is a perfect time for them to try to figure out who the Green Bay Packers are.
Yeah. Raiders on the road for Monday Night Football. Very winnable game.
Broncos.
Vikings, Broncos, Steelers.
Yeah, you got a series of games that you can get healthy. If you can get healthy and LaFleur can put his stamp on it, you have a team now. Because the defense, even though it's spot plays, you see them mess up. They're trying. They're making plays. They're trying to make plays.
Yeah, they got to stop the run. We know that. But that's been the theme for how long now? All right, time now for our U.S. Cellular call of the game. Down 27-11. On the final play of the third quarter, Jordan Love launched one deep to Jaden Reed, and the rookie out of Michigan State made a great over-the-shoulder catch, getting Green Bay into the red zone. 44 yards, Love to Reed. That's our U.S. Cellular call of the game. This youngster, I know we said early in the year, kind of reminds you, kind of reminds you a bit of a Randall Cobb because of the return game, because of the size, because of the burst. But I think we're going to see a lot more of him. I don't think his role will diminish even if Christian Watson is 100%.
No, because now all of a sudden you got Christian Watson that can stretch the field north and south, and this guy can go east and west.
Yes.
And like you see on that 44-yard play, you had a guy that run through the clear, the safety out the middle. Now you got him working one-on-one with the corner.
Yep.
He's too good for that matchup.
Yep.
And with a guy that can deliver the ball, those are things that these young receivers can do that we're not used to seeing happen.
Yeah, and in a night game, over the shoulder like this, that ain't easy with all those lights there.
No, and the thing about the receiving core, you got young guys that are trying to outdo each other in such a good way.
Yep.
And growing with a young quarterback, man, this is a nice thing to see.
All right, time now for our player guest to be introduced. This guy is perfect on the year for the season. Kicker Anders Carlson will join us in a moment right here from Locker Room inside the Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. Welcome back to Locker Room right here inside the Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. Please welcome our player guest tonight, Packers kicker Anders Carlson. What's up, everybody?
What's going on? How we doing?
Appreciate it.
What's going on? How you doing?
Now, you've got the real bye week coming up here, but what did you do with the long weekend off? Because once you guys start training camp back on July 25th or whatever it was, you really don't get much of a break.
Yeah, I mean, with a couple of days off, I went to Auburn, right? We had a big game, so I had to go back there. We almost squeezed out a win against the #1 team in the nation, and yeah, me and my wife had a good time visiting with friends and going to that game.
Very cool, very cool. She's out there in the crowd tonight enjoying this little show we've got here. Oh, our camera guy was all over that one.
The early shout out.
Is she at Auburn too?
She is. She's smart. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, then I got to ask, how'd you meet?
Yeah.
We're not even going to talk football on this show.
Should I bring her up here? No, I'm kidding. She asked me to one of her day parties, so we met there, and that was sophomore year, and I went from there.
You take it away from there.
Yep.
When did you get married?
We got married in June, over a year ago.
Okay.
A little while ago.
Very
So.
nice.
Okay.
Yes,
So now, Auburn's a heck of the weather conditions a little different. I know you've been hot, 9 for 9, extra points, 5 field goals, and 2 from 50. Anybody talk to you about kicking in the tundra when it's cold?
Yes, for sure. That was kind of the first question maybe when I got up here. But I will say I grew up in Colorado, so
Okay, that's right.
I've seen the
Colorado Springs,
the
right?
white stuff on the ground
Yeah.
before, and I've seen snow, so I've kicked in it and ready to get back into it, I guess.
Right. And some of those December, January games, like kicking a big boulder out there, what do you do to keep your feet warm? I mean, is it literally just putting them underneath the bench there, or like what is your routine?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really found the routine yet. I
Okay.
mean, obviously, I've been in Auburn the past few years, but the guys, they say you kind of go in there, you're cold for a second, you come back on the bench, and they got the heated bench and your jacket, and you warm back up, and you get ready to go freeze for a second and come back. So it's kind of a weird balance.
And many people don't know his brother also kicks for Vegas.
Yep.
And so I asked him earlier, I said, so how bad is the rivalry when you guys go back home? And we might have to ask your wife because she'll tell the truth, but how bad is the rivalry between brothers?
Yeah, she's seen the worst of it, but it does get hot sometimes, like all brothers should. It doesn't matter if it's sports or a puzzle or a game. I mean, we're battling it out for sure.
Well, besides the kicking, whether it's extra points, field goals, the actual being a guy in the NFL, there are brother combinations throughout the history from TJ Watt, JJ Watt, the Clay Matthews, and brothers, uncles, grandfathers, that whole thing. But what are you most competitive with him non-football related?
So I would say I brought up basketball to you, and our backyard had a concrete slab. We had a basketball hoop up there, and I was always the better basketball player, but he had more size and height.
Wait. More height? Like
this was when I was in 8th grade.
Oh yeah, okay, I got it. Because he was older.
He's got 4 years on me, so it was evenly matched, I'll say. But obviously we know now I'd win those games every day.
Right.
Okay, now here's a question though. Most kickers that come up here, man, they don't look physical. They don't, So as you run down on kickoff, are you trying to go get in the mix? Are you trying to get out the way, or are you just watching? What are you doing?
I like to kick off and watch my guys destroy the other guy. And if it comes to me, I'll try to do my job.
Okay, just want to know.
Yeah. Well, look, and nobody's going to blame you for that punt return against the Saints, but you got a little twisted around there, and dude, that guy he had wheels, like major
well, I'm
wheels.
not on punt. I'm not on punt.
That wasn't you. That was on punt team. That's right. That's right.
But tell me to get it right out. Come on,
No.
man. Don't blame that on you.
That's on me. But what my greater point was, you usually see the kicker and the punter float a little. They're kind of waiting, but sometimes you guys don't have that extra gear to make that cut. There's a reason that return guy is running a 4.3 or a 4.4, right?
Yeah.
Is that one of the more intimidating things? Like, just don't look silly on here. Like, get in the guy's way and at least get him to the ground or push him out of bounds.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think the best thing for us is the sideline. If we can ever find a guy and squeeze him to the sideline, that's our biggest help. Because, like you said, if it's a foot race, that guy's winning every day. So.
Yeah.
Good. Up to this point in your life, what's been your moment as a kicker? What's that moment that you remember as a kicker?
You know, hopefully there's a lot of in the
But
future, but so far,
up to this point.
No, so far I think you go back to Auburn and our biggest rival is Alabama. Iron Bowl we won 48-45, and I kicked 4 deep ones to win that game. So.
Nice moments. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to ask too, because look, you didn't have the greatest preseason, you didn't have the best training camp, and you now know every reporter's writing down he was 6 for 9 today, but he missed one. That's the way things get critiqued in the NFL and in a place like Green Bay that is this small, and the Packers are everything.
Yeah.
For you, did a switch turn on? Because you have been perfect, like Harry said, 9 for 9, 5 for 5. Inside the 20, touchbacks, or not inside the 20. Why am I getting the punter thing again? But I mean, the way you're kicking the ball, was it just a comfort level? What happened to make things get so good these last 4 games to start the year?
I think the biggest thing is just knowing who you are and trusting your process, right? I mean, when you approach that field, whether it's the practice field or game field, just going in with a mentality and trusting that mentality no matter what it is. And some days it's not going to go your way. I know in the future, you know, I probably will miss a kick. I don't know when and where, but obviously we're trying to make them till then. But it's all about bouncing back and keeping that strong mentality as you go forward.
Everybody that's successful has some form of superstition. What's yours?
Superstition?
Yeah, that thing before the game you do, or
Yeah.
something you have to do, eat the right food. What is that?
This is not as fun as you maybe would want, but I do a hot tub, cold tub plunge before I go play a game.
It's your superstition,
get
your
hot,
thing.
getting cooked cold. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right, when we come back on Locker Room, we'll have plenty more with Packers kicker Anders Carlson, plus our Easy Tab Fan Zone Shot of the Week. There they are, having some fun out here at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center for Locker Room. We'll be right back, coming up after the break. Welcome back to Locker Room right here inside the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. He is Anders Carlson, Packers kicker, along with Harry Sidney. I'm Burke Griffin. So now you got one game within, I think, a 23-day stretch with the bye week coming up after that Monday night game. What are you going to do during that time off, and how important is that? Because after that, you really don't have anything until Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, the mentality is to empty the tank this week because, like you said, 23 days until the next game. So we're going to recharge. I think we're going to go to Nashville for a little bit and hang out there. Like pickleball, so play some pickleball.
Nice.
And come back ready to go for that, that long stretch to the end of the season.
Yeah, because that's going to be a heck of a stretch. So how much will you kick during this time?
I'll still kick every 2 days about during that break, just to kind of keep the muscles firing and stay strong.
Okay.
Well, it's called Locker Room for a reason. It's time now to go in the zone with Cam Nazir, presented by Oneida Nation.
Here with Packers wide receiver Samori Toure. Samori, what makes you enjoy being a Green Bay Packer?
I think really just the culture, of everyone on the team. You talk to a lot of guys on the team and they say it's definitely not like this everywhere. The dudes that have played other places, it's just something that's really special. I feel like we have a good connection with our players and the fans as well.
From when you were younger, do you think the game of football had always connected with you, and why is that?
Yeah, I just felt like it was something that is kind of ingrained in me. I've been doing it since I was in 2nd, 3rd grade, so It's kind of just a way of life for me, you know, not even just the game, but everything else that comes with it, what you learn from it, and also the camaraderie that comes with it as well.
And now that you're a professional athlete, you look back to your days at Montana and Nebraska, how did those two college stints teach you how to be a professional?
Really, I think just the way I was coached. I was coached really well at Montana and Nebraska as well. Just how much work it's going to take to be able to succeed at the highest level. You know, because you come from high school, everyone's the guy in high school. Not everyone's going to be the guy in college. So it's really less that separates each person. It's just about, you know, hard work and dedication.
For those who only know Samori Toure as a Packers wide receiver, if you just had to walk down the street, which you've probably done here in Green Bay, and just walk up to someone and have a normal conversation, how would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm a really low-key guy, down to earth. I'm pretty humble. You know, if you don't recognize me, you would never know that I play football because I'm not going to, you know, bring it up. So I just think I'm a regular dude.
And with this wide receiving room being so young, what do you enjoy most about being a part of this room especially?
Just the connection that we all have. You know, we all like to joke around with each other. It's never too serious unless it needs to be, but I love the connection that we have with our guys. I feel like the rookies are coming along really well, and they fit in, you know, with the culture and the team.
All right, thanks, fellas. Samori Toure, part of a very young and talented wide receiver group. But Anders, that's the way this roster is up and down. There's a lot of youth and a lot of talent that just needs more experience, right?
Yeah, no, actually, we're definitely a youthful team, but it makes it fun. And I think big or younger guys are stepping up big. I mean, talk about the wide receiver room. Right. So many guys are young, and you know, someone like Jay Reed, Devontae Wicks. Yeah. I mean, those guys are rookies, my class, and I think they made some big plays already.
With saying that, how much do you guys hang out together? Because it's about chemistry. Sometimes kickers are away and they're in their own world. How much do the kickers and everybody else get along?
Yeah, we try to not be too weird. We try to hang out with the cool guys.
Good.
So,
good.
But, you know, definitely during that summer month when we're all kind of coming together, you kind of really hang out with everyone. And then as the season goes along, you kind of hang out positionally more. But it's still good to be in the locker room with all the guys.
Very cool. All right, time for some quick hitting questions. We're not going to do anything that's going to reshape the wheel or anything. Time for our 1-minute drill. Best thing you bought with your money so far?
A nice steak.
Nice,
simple.
Nice, not a car or
no car. I'm still driving
a wedding ring.
Well, that'll take us to the next question. What car do you drive?
I drive a Ford Escape.
Ford Escape.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What do you listen to when you're driving?
Ever since college, a little country.
All right. Biggest influence in your life?
I would say my grandfather.
All right. Favorite NFL player growing up?
Growing up, I wasn't too young, but my brother, I'll say that.
If you could be a star athlete in a different sport, what would it be?
Golf.
Golf? Wow. That's a smart one. Don't get hurt doing
I was going to ask him because kickers and quarterbacks are good in golf.
Yep. Las Vegas or the beach?
Let's go beach.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Golf or fishing?
Golf already.
Steak, fish, or chicken?
Steak.
And finally, for Anders Carlson, unique name. It's actually spelled with an A. Explain.
With my first name?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad is Swedish,
Okay.
so my full name is Anders Björn Karlsson, if you want to say it the Swedish way. And,
Nice.
Yeah, that's where I get it from.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we'll have more with the Swedish man of the day, Anders Carlson, coming up in just a moment. We'll have our keys to beating the Raiders and wrap up the show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Locker Room. We have Pat and Doug Becker from Hortonville enjoying the best seats in the house, courtesy of our friends at Viper Industrial. We've got about less than a minute here. Raiders, Packers, Monday Night Football. Look, they are 1-3. They beat the Broncos by a single point. Bills beat them. A couple of other teams lost to the Chargers on Sunday. Not a great team. We say yes. Oh, they should go and win this game. What is it going to take, Anders, to beat Las Vegas?
Yeah, I think playing a smart game. Obviously, we care about the ball and not turning over the ball. That's really important to us. And then for me, just I'm focused on doing my job and everything I can do.
All right. Well, I'm getting a quick wrap here. Time now for our dispensary keys to the game. First and foremost, stop Josh Jacobs, still a quality running back. They are not running the ball well. Get to the quarterback. He's a rookie, Aiden O'Connell, and run the football first.
Play the game. Play the game.
For Anders Carlson, Harry Sidney, I'm Burke Griffin. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.